So basically, if you think of Christianity as a family reunion, right? I am the crazy gay uncle that keeps coming every year because you know what? I'm not going to be disenfranchised from my system. I'm not going to be disenfranchised from my heritage. As a matter of fact, I'm going to be critical of it. So. Hi, my name's LeoWT, and you have found your way to the Conversations podcast. Conversations exist to create spiritually minded conversations about life. We desire to create safe space for dialogue and community. We desire to come together regularly and intentionally to generate conversations about life, belief, and the intersection of the two. Everyone is welcome at the Conversation. Yo, what's up, fam? I had some perfect lighting in a couple seconds that I wanted to drop by and say some words. For those of you who know me, words are my thing. So I'm dropping some of them. But I've been engaged in this conversation all day long on a Facebook post. And I don't typically abide haters on a Facebook post. And I'm saying haters as a loosely associated term because someone can disagree with me and I'm not going to call them a hater. Right? That's what responsible adult dialogue is from time to time you have a viewpoint and someone disagrees with it, right? And that is okay, and that is cool. And actually, as a matter of fact, if you're watching tonight, tomorrow night, I'm going to be live on the Conversations page, and I'm going to be talking about cancel culture with my friend Justin Hubbard, who's from Jamestown Justice Coalition. We're going to be chatting about that. So stop by, and let's have a dialogue about cancel culture. Mr. Potato Head. Let's see, what else we got? We got Mr. Potato Head. We got Johnny Depp. There's one more I'm missing. Oh shoot, is the whole point of it all. Dr. Seuss, yeah, that one. But so you can have, what I'm saying today is, it's not quite cancel culture, but you're gonna wanna tune in for that tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. But what I'm saying today is you can have a conversation with somebody and you can disagree with them. Hey Pam, how's it going? You can have a conversation with somebody and you can disagree with them and that's okay. But you can still have a good conversation. Now, here's the thing that's interesting, right? So I'm having a conversation on a Nyack College alumni Facebook group, right? I watched a documentary this past weekend about One Wheaton, which is an organization of queer students that attended Wheaton College. And they made a group for queer Wheatonites. And Wheaton College actually won't recognize them. They won't recognize them. And so then a couple hundred of them showed up at a Wheaton College homecoming event. And I was like, yo, here's all these gay people from Wheaton. That's what's up. So I was watching that and I was like, man, I wish I had that for my college because here's the thing. I'll hit you with something. I don't know what my ethnic background is. I have no idea. My family is white. When I ask them, they say we're white. Ancestry DNA actually told me that I was white and 2% other white at one point. So I don't have an ethnic background, right? The closest thing I have to a culture that I grew up in is the church. It's Christianity. It's evangelicalism. Now, love it or hate it, here's the thing. Love it or hate it, it's still where I came from. So basically, if you think of Christianity as a family reunion, right? I am the crazy gay uncle that keeps coming every year because you know what? I'm not going to be disenfranchised from my system. I'm not going to be disenfranchised from my heritage. As a matter of fact, I'm going to be critical of it. So yes, people can converse civilly while disagreeing. But then here's this interesting thing that happens. So I'm the crazy gay uncle at the family reunion, and I'm on the Nyack College Facebook page, and I made a post, and I took the Nyack College logo, and I put it over a rainbow, and I said, if you went to Nyack, and you need a place to be validated, I got you, right? I went there too. I know what you went through. We had the same classes. We walked the same streets. We had the same professors. We ate the same awful food. Like, we don't deserve to be disenfranchised from our heritage. It might have been awful, but it was still ours, and we all went through it together. So now I'm the crazy gay uncle at the family reunion, but I'm calling out the other crazy gay uncles, so to speak. And on that Facebook post, I get, there's a comment, right, about how love you so much, but, you know, this is wrong and sin is sin, and the Bible says what it says. You could see where this is going. And to be fair, I expected it to go here. I was under no illusion, right? I didn't think it was going to go well. But the reality is that there are people out there that need to know they're not the only ones, right? That's the whole reason any of us shares our story, is that so someone else knows they're not the only one. And so, Nora, I would love to do a video about how to be a better ally. I will absolutely put that on my list. Absolutely. So I get a comment from a former friend of mine, as someone who I was a floor mate with. And it's basically like, I love you, but the Bible says what it says, and the word is what it is, and whatever. You know what I mean? And then the thing, there's an 84 comment thread that has ensued since this. But here's the thing. So we started dialoguing, and it was civil, right? It was okay. But the fact remains that what I said, what I put out there was, this is your argument against LGBTQ people. These are the facts that correlate to this argument, right? This person says, well, that's okay. You believe what you believe, but I believe in the Bible, and the Bible is true. And I was like, wait a second. I have just shown you how what you're saying is not, in fact, true, right? So let's use the analogy of a courtroom, okay? Prosecution, they have to meet what's called the burden of proof, right? So if you're on the prosecution, if you're the one saying that person did this, right? You have to prove that. That is called the burden of proof, right? And the defense's job, the burden of proof lies on the prosecution, not the defense, right? And the defense's job is just to prove that there is even 1% doubt about what the prosecution is saying. Because unless the prosecution meets the burden of proof, which is proof positive, whole, and supported by fact, evidence, argument, and the jury can see that, then the burden of proof is not met and the trial is done. The person is either like, it's a hung jury, the trial is dismissed, the person is declared innocent, whatever. But in this analogy, Christianity is the prosecution, right? And the Bible is the law, right? And so we're coming to the table and they're saying, this is the way it is. This is wrong to be gay, right? They're actually offering out of their mouths a little bit of a death sentence. And when I say they, I mean my people. We can have this conversation because it's my people, right? You're going to hell because you're gay. Whoa, right? But the thing is I came up with some points, and not like me, like a lot of friggin' scholars, bro. There was queer theologians, queer theologians in the 4th century. 4th century. Bro, that was like back before the Catholic Protestant split even happened, right? We're still over in ancient Rome and North Africa. And so anyways, queer, whatever. There's over 23,000 species of queer animals and organisms on this planet. And we're still trying to talk about if it's okay for gay people to be gay, like, whatever. Back to the analogy, the courtroom, not the family reunion. But so I provide these points, right? And I've made a couple of videos about it, and I'll make some more in the future, but suffice it to say that I have point for point addressed every concern that exists within the evangelical argument for the case against the LGBTQ person. That was a sexy sentence. But I've point for point countered them, and I have rendered them as invalid evidence, right? What happens to the prosecution when I have rendered their evidence fallible? That should mean that the case is over, right? Now, I'm not saying in this analogy that I am right and that I win. That would be dope. But what I am saying is that the arguments they have are null and void. Right? Because if you say, well, I believe in the Bible, you want to tell you about how the Bible was mistranslated. The word homosexuality was not in the Bible until the year 1946, at which it was introduced into the RSV version. the transcripts of which reside at Yale University, and you can go see this, you can see this, and almost nobody has. People just took it. Irony upon irony, the translators of that version of the Bible retracted the insertion of the word homosexuality into the Bible because they realized that it was actually scholarly incorrect. There's no word in the Bible to address consensual, equal, egalitarian power dynamic, appropriate, safe same-sex relationships. There's no word for it. And it didn't exist until 1946, right? The book of Leviticus, that's another thing. Like, I'll break that down in another video, right? But so this person on this page is telling me, well, I just believe in the Bible and Jesus, and that's that. And I'm sitting here saying, literally, I just proved that what you're saying is not true. So what are you left with? At that point, if someone keeps going, their argument can't be based on the Bible, and it can't be based on biology, because we've already proven, I've discussed this in brief, but the Bible doesn't say it's wrong to be gay, and homosexuality and queerness and transgenderness all exist within nature in some of the oldest organisms on our planet. One of them is the bacteria by the name Wolbachia. You could check it out. Take that to the bank. Take that shit to the bank. Find the receipt, whatever, right? So biblically, it's not prohibited. Biologically, there's precedent for LGBTQ, queer, and transgender people. So when someone comes at me and they say, well, I just believe God, and it's wrong to be gay, you've stripped away the biblical argument. And I'm not saying I proved it completely wrong. People will still debate. What I'm saying is I've proved that it doesn't meet the burden of proof. We've had the biological conversation. It doesn't meet the burden of proof. So what is the hook that they're hanging their argument on still, that it's wrong to be gay? It is nothing but indoctrination and homophobia and inculcated bias. It's nothing but that. So let's be intellectually honest here. The prosecution, American Christianity, did not meet the burden of proof to prove that it is wrong to be LGBTQ. They did not meet it. And so if someone comes at you and they're trying to say, oh, I just believe in the Bible, I just believe in Jesus and the Lord, and it's wrong to be gay, right? It's actually intellectually dishonest, because what they're saying, they're not saying they believe in the Bible. They're saying they have a certain set of norms that were bred into them by their environment. They have a certain set of biases that were bred into them by their environment. And they're clinging not to the Bible, but to those. Thank you, Pam. If I had a mic, I would drop it. So this is the thing. And you can break this down for people that want to have that conversation with you to say it's wrong to be gay. Because there is at least enough proof for you to need to take a second look. And if that person doesn't counter the actual logical, statistical, data-based truth, if they don't come at you with something that counters that, they're coming at you with homophobia and bias. Done. Case closed. Defendant is free to go about life, queer it the hell up, and also claim a stake in religion. Done. That's it. I just had to lay that out there logically, right? I love to have these conversations with people now that I've gone to a lot of counseling, because that was requisite first. It took me 10 years of counseling to have these conversations, but I've been studying logic and public speaking and debating since I was in 3rd grade, right? I've been studying the Bible my whole life. I have a bachelor's degree in pastoral ministry. I'm currently in a master's of divinity program. I'm looking towards my PhD. Let's play ball. Let's play ball, homie. Because you could say you disagree. I'm not saying you can't disagree. But what I'm saying is I'm exposing the roots of your disagreement. Because the roots of your disagreement are not in fact. The roots of your disagreement are in opinion and bias. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion. But no one is responsible to live by your opinion. And we are going to, in fact, declare an opinion and nothing more. That's it. That's all I'm saying. And we can have a civil discourse. The conversation at this point is still fairly civil, although there's people just not really engaging the points. But that's why I'm here making this video. Jake, I feel you. I totally feel that. All the therapy is great. That's why I can discuss this now, because myself is healed. I've cultivated and worked to and actively processed those things. And I have a loving partner who who supports me in maintaining my health and well-being so that I can have these conversations. So I say all of that to really just kind of lay out where it's at logically. Like, if we want to have a logical conversation about if it's right or wrong to be gay, first of all, what year is it that we're still having this conversation? Second of all, there's some logic for you to use. Absolutely. Take it, use it. If you do, it'd be dope if you quote me, because I'm trying to build that platform, homie. But that's what I'm thinking, and I just wanted to drop that. So I'm going to save this video. I'm going to post it on my YouTube, Conversations Official on YouTube. You can find me on Facebook at Conversations Official. You can find me on the interweb at conversationsofficial.com. I like to facilitate conversations like this on a regular basis. I put out a video every Sunday night talking about life, belief, and the intersection of the two. Talked to a friend who was a pastor and is now an atheist last week, Ryan Bell. We've got some conversations about capitalism from the pulpit to the polls, where we're going to talk about the influence of capitalism on American society and on religious belief. We're going to kind of do some digging around that. We talked about just the nature of being transgender and how that impacts transgender people in sport last week. We've got a lot of cool stuff up on there at Conversations Official. You can find the videos on Facebook or on YouTube. I'm also on Spotify and on Apple Podcast. It would mean the whole entire world to me if you guys could follow me on those platforms. Apple, Spotify, Apple Podcast, Spotify, YouTube, Facebook. I also exist on TikTok and Twitter as spiritually NB LeoWT. And that kind of just kind of speaks to the fact that I feel like spirituality is non-binary, and we've been sold this binary view of it. So if you look up spiritually NB LeoWT, you could check it out. Jake, thank you. Check out the podcast. I really am proud of them. I've always wanted to have a podcast. And now, as I'm in school and stuff, I'm trying to build some sort of a platform so that I can be able to continue to do this as this work that I can't not do it. So it'd be dope if I could do it for a living. So I'm trying to build that up. If you could give me a follow on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Instagram, and YouTube, that would be dope. You can find me on all of those as Conversations Official, and you can find me on other platforms as spiritually NB LeoWT. I also have a podcast out right now, just dropped with my friend Jeremy from The Talk, where it's a parenting podcast. So we talk about parenting as a queer person and parenting queer children and how to bring that conversation up to your kids and dialogue about it, because it's not weird. It's not weird. And if you don't make it weird, it's not weird. If you don't teach hate, there's no hate. Also check that out at The Talk. I'll keep you guys updated on my capitalism from the pulpit to the polls. We'll be talking cancel culture tomorrow night at 7 p.m. on the Conversations Official Facebook page. And I thank you so much for listening. Please share, please comment, please like, and please check out those other platforms. Peace. I'm going to hang out with my super cute wife. Have a good night, everybody.
This has been the Conversations Podcast. Thank you so much for joining. If you have any questions or comments, or just want to get involved, feel free to join the conversation on social media. You can find us at Conversations Official on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. And please don't forget to rate, follow, and share this podcast. We're available on Anchor, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Thank you so much for joining the conversation.